Warning, the following podcast is brought to you by dads who think cereal counts as dinner. Welcome to the All Pro Dad Podcast.
Hey, welcome to the All Pro Dad Podcast. I'm Ted Lowe, and I'm joined today by Bobby Lewis
hey, man.
and BJ Foster. Hey, and together we have four boys.
Four boys.
We got some other
Ages,
kids, but four boys.
10 for me, and how old's your oldest son?
22, 25.
10 to 25. Okay.
Close
Very
to
good range.
17.
Very nice. Okay.
There's a lot of boys.
Well, I'll tell you a boy story from just the other day. My son came out to me one morning, I think it was a Saturday, and he said, "Dad, can I cook breakfast outside?" And I was like, I mean, we live in a neighborhood where there's really no need for that. We have a stove, we have a microwave, we have a toaster. Like, why? He goes, "I just think it'd be cool." And in the moment, I was like, all right, I guess there's no reason to say no, but I don't know why you'd want to do this. I made that kid so happy. I handed him a cast iron pan, and he went out in the backyard, and we have a little fire pit. He got his flint, he got his pocket knife, in the middle of suburbia, started a fire right there, made a fire, had the sticks going, put the pan over, and he cooked ham. He came in and he got his little pocket knife and he cut up all the ham and he put it in the thing. And I was like, what a resourceful kid. I would never do this as a child. But he made breakfast for the whole family. And then he came in and got us and said, all right, come on out. And so we went out on the back porch as a family and we ate ham. Just ham. So we ate ham. Like hunks of uneven cut ham that he cooked in this pan. He was the happiest kid. I mean, it was a simple yes from me. And initially I was like, no, let's just make toast. Just do it here. It's easy. But saying yes, it was such a cool dad-son moment to see how proud he was that he provided for his family, made breakfast, and also that I didn't squash his little cooking dream, which was probably okay to do in the morning. It was the coolest thing. It was a fun look at my boy moment. Like, look what you did. I was so proud of him. And it made me wonder if you guys have any kind of similar look at my boy moments.
I love that. That's like he's out on the trail.
Yeah. We don't even live in Oregon.
I know, right? I don't know if it's look at my boy, but when my son was 7, I decided to recreate my favorite memory with my dad, which was my dad came home, and I think I've told this story on another podcast, but he came home from work early and just surprised me by taking me to my first professional baseball game.
Cool.
And so my wife is a flight attendant. She flies for free. I'm originally from Philadelphia. We're diehard Philadelphia sports fans. And so it was like the Thursday night before. I said, hey, buddy, you and I are getting on a plane tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. We're flying up to Philadelphia and we're going to I'm taking you to a Phillies game. And so he was so excited. And it was just the two of us flying together. We flew up there. And on top of that, I have a little Phillies jersey that I wore that I kept.
Oh man.
And he was wearing that and my Phillies hat from when I was 7.
You framed a photo with us, I hope, right? It was the cool.
I didn't frame one.
Day.
I took plenty of them.
Nice.
The really funny thing was when I went to the game, and by the way, it was so when I went to my first game, it was like I was so enmeshed in the game, the experience, the sights, the sounds, the colors.
Yeah. And
we got there and we watched about 2 innings and had hot dogs and whatever, and then he was like, can I go to the playground? There's like, how ballparks have playgrounds in them now. And so he was in that playground for like 4 innings.
Can I go to the playground?
And so that was it. But afterwards, I remember thinking it was a school night and my dad was going to take us home early. And not only did we not go home early, but we went out to a diner afterwards. And so I did the same thing with my son.
Nice.
Took him to a diner
How old was
afterwards. He's 7.
He was 7?
He was 7 years old.
Nice.
And so, yeah, just one of those
so cool,
great moments. And whenever I ask him, hey, what's your favorite memory from childhood? There's typically a couple, but that one always comes up.
Yeah.
And so it made me feel like, hitting it exactly like it hit me.
That's so great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But after that, you got nowhere to go but down. This is fantastic.
We will do nothing but read
Can
books
we do that
from now
next
on.
week? Let's do it again.
Yeah.
Though I've been excited about this episode because I've got 2 boys who are now 22 and 25. And when they were little, and we have 4 and they're the oldest. And it's when they were little, I wanted to start this thing that just the three of us were going to do boy stuff. So I named it Triangle because our last name is Lowe, Spanish. I thought it was super clever. Yeah. They didn't know what's going on, but I thought it was cool. And so I would just intentionally, hey, Triangle, let's go do, I had Honda Element, those movable toasters. And I was like, hey, this is the Triangle car. And so we've been doing that kind of thing. And, the Triangle would wrestle and Triangle would go on camping trips and Triangle would do all this stuff. And we would wrestle all the time. Like I knew that when I got home from work, they were going to be ready to go. And we continue to have this very physical just aggression towards each other, especially me towards them. I mean, like, I don't know what it is in me, but when I see them, I love them so much, I want to punch them. I don't know what that is. I just want to punch you right now. You're so awesome. And so, and we were just on vacation, and you see this fresh scar right here? So we're on the beach, and our whole family's going down on the bikes, and I'm riding next my son, and I just had the thought, doesn't get any better than this, that our kids want to be with us. This is my favorite place. I love the ocean, all the things. And my other son comes up behind me and pushes me over on the beach. And I've wiped out before on a bike, but it was a whole different level. And I got caught up on my son's bike, and somehow he ended up straddling both bikes with not a scratch on it. I'm just still healing from this whole situation. But as soon as it happened, I was like, oh man, I haven't hurt that bad in a long time, but I had to jump up and laugh.
Pretend you didn't get hurt.
But I couldn't help but laugh. But that's kind of who we are. And I still love that that's who we are, is that I want to punch them. I'm not sure it's great that every time they walk by me, they flinch, but it's who we are. So let me ask you a question. What is the best part about being a boy dad of fathers or sons? In no particular order. Here's some good things. Number one is passing down dad stuff. Get to pass down dad stuff. My dad can do anything. And so growing up, my brother and I would go with him to do things, but we were like the go get guys. Go get me this wrench. And I would, couldn't find it. And I saw this meme the other day. It said, he goes, you can't hurt my feelings. I used to bring my dad the wrong tools. And so I feel like I'd fully understood that in that moment. But I thought, if I ever have kids, I'm going to let them do stuff, because you can imagine telling an ADHD boy kid to just watch somebody else do something. It was torture. And so I've just let them as much as I can. I mean, we've got a deck that's just you can see the hammer marks in it. I gave my son once, I gave him a toilet seat and said, go change it, because we needed to want to go change it. I thought, this is a low risk proposition. And he went and he did it. And I've never seen him more proud of himself than we had installed that thing. He goes, should I put up flyers and put them around the neighborhood that I can do your toilet seat? I went, that's a great idea. But it's so fun when you can pass down dad stuff.
I think, when I think about that, the things that I've taught my son, I would sports are kind of big to us. It's been big for my son and I. And so I've gotten to coach him over the years. I mean, when I think about him throwing a baseball, football, a frisbee or whatever, those are all the things that I taught him how to do. I taught him how to skate for the first time. I remember even just telling him, even just on rollerblades, how to push off. And to watch him now, I got a chance a couple months ago to kind of watch him put some ice skates on and to watch him fly around both forwards, backwards. I mean, he ended up playing hockey for a while, so he surpassed even me in terms of ability.
Yeah.
And I'm someone who grew up pond skating in New Hampshire.
Oh, wow.
And so but to see him kind of surpass me in all of those things,
passing it down.
It's been a really fun thing.
Well, I told you the breakfast story. Ham's a pretty low risk food. It's already basically cooked. You could eat it, right out of the fridge. So I wasn't worried about that. But I've been trying to teach my son about grilling. So we had chicken on the grill the other day, and I was like, come on over here, let me show you this. And it's got to be cooked to this temperature or you'll poison the family, all that sort of stuff.
Good.
And so he got to do the little bit of grilling the other day. And then, one of the cool things that we've been able to share lately, and it sounds really weird, is pressure washing. I know that doesn't sound like that exciting, but I was pressure washing the back porch, and he's like, whoa, that looks kind of cool. Can I do it? And I showed him how to do it. And now he wants to do it just to kind of help his family. He's like, oh, mom will think this is really cool. And I was like, yeah, buddy, give it a shot. Do this and, take care of this task. And it's a little thing, but man, it's cool when you get to share little things like that, passing down those dad duties.
Hey, I can watch pressure washing videos.
It's so satisfying.
For hours.
Oh, I love them.
Man.
Barn finds, forget it. I'm out. Like when they find the old cars. Absolutely. Back to the game. One of the other things that's great about being a dad, I've already talked enough about this, is we get to be rough. We get to be rough with our kids. It's just so fun. And then
I'm nervous about that though, because you got scars. I can see your scars on your arm. My son's 10.
He's my legs.
He's not scarring me yet, but he does like to push and shove and roughhouse a little bit. Yeah. I can handle a 10-year-old. I don't know about a 25-year-old. We'll see.
He don't want none.
Even from the days that my son was a baby. He would be, when you have a baby and you put the blanket on the floor and then you lay them down there, I'd be laying with him and I would have to like put my arm across him and I would lift his leg up like I was pinning him in professional wrestling. And I'd be like, 1, 2, 3. And I'd bang the ground and go, he's out. Yeah. And he would giggle and giggle and giggle. I mean,
so good.
Oh, it's super fun.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah, I think wrestling with your kids is a special thing. And it's wild. I would never do that with my daughter because on the off chance that I might hurt her, I wouldn't even risk it. With my son, I'm like, if you get hurt, it'll be a cool story. Let's go for it. It's just a little different thing between, girls and boys.
I was thinking the other day too, like this occurred to me. Okay. So my son, again, he's in a couple of weeks. He's actually, but I'm sorry to say, by the time this airs, he'll be 17. But I used to just kind of grab him and throw him around the pool and all this stuff. And he used to jump on me and I'd throw him, not, a little bit too much, but we've had these pool parties lately and here he is out there in the middle and they're all these little guys and they're all jumping on his.
So great.
And, he's throwing them right and left and hangs in there because he's physically stronger than I am. He hangs in there longer than I did. After a while, I was like, all right, that's enough.
Yeah.
And he just kind of keeps going and going. And it's kind of fun to see it continue on.
There's actually some like scientific backing to what we're talking about. Mothers, they bond on a hormonal level with their children because they carry them for 9 months in their body. Like they're sharing everything. The mom is giving all the nutrients to the child and back and forth, and they're sharing these hormones. We don't do that, obviously. And so one of the ways that dads bond with their kids on a chemical level is by physical play. When you're wrestling or you're kind of arm wrestling, pushing, shoving, playing, whatever you're doing, you're actually sharing these chemical balance. You're getting these mixes of different hormones that actually create memories. And so you got scars to remind you of the moment, but you also have a little seared memory in your brain that says, we had fun. And it makes you tighter, which is really cool. So I like that I've been able to do that with my son because, we have these really neat physical like shoving matches, but we're really just shoving memories into our brain at the same time.
I like that. Oh, it's good.
A third thing I think that's really special for dads with sons is that we get a chance to be real. We get a chance to look at them in the eye and say, all right, man, here's how it is. This is how dudes do things. And I think that's a really neat thing. Bluntness works better with boys, at least in my experience, it works better with boys than girls. With my daughters, I've had to be a little more nuanced with some of my words. With my son, I'll say, listen, this is just not how you do it. This is just not an appropriate way to behave. Or this is something that I think you would be good at. Go for it. Stop delaying. I can be a little more blunt with my son. I don't know if you guys have had that experience, but I think that's a cool thing that dads and sons get to share because we kind of have a similar thinking.
So you want to talk about blunt. So my son finishes up soccer practice one day. This is like a year ago. And my wife said, you need to talk to our son about masturbation.
Whoa.
And
out of the blue. Yeah.
Right. You need to talk to him about that. And I'm like, okay, well, we'll talk about it. And so we're coming back from soccer practice and I'm driving and I said, all right, we're going to have an awkward conversation right now about masturbation. And he goes, okay. And I go, and you don't even need to say anything. I'm just going to tell you how it went down with my dad and how I want it to be different with us. I said, so when I was 13, I came home from school and there was a book on my night table that it was about sex. And so I opened it up and I read the chapter about masturbation. That was it. And went downstairs and my dad said, "Hey, I left you a book on your night table."
Yeah.
And I said, "Yeah, I saw it." And he goes, "Okay.
Glad we have this.
Do you have any?" He goes, he said, "Have you read any of it yet?" And he goes, "Do you have any questions?" I said, "Nope." And he goes, "Did you read any of it?" And I said, I read the chapter about masturbation." And he goes, "Okay. Did you do that?" Yeah. And so, I'm like, so we talked about it a little bit, but kind of stopped. I felt very alone in that. And I said, "I don't want you to ever feel alone in this. So I want you to feel like you can talk to me about any of this stuff. And you don't need to feel weird. You can ask me any question."
But that to the point messaging worked with your teenager? It worked?
Yeah. Getting right after it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, there's like just jumping right in and just being bluntly kind of vulnerable.
Yeah.
Like, okay, here's the truth. Here's what it is.
Relatable.
Relatable. I'm just going to lay out myself and I'm going to lay out the situation, the truth of it. And we're not going to be afraid of it. We're just going to dive right in.
Yeah.
Of course, I don't know. I would probably do the same thing with my daughter. I would probably just dive right in with her too. Poor girl. Like she's like, I guarantee you she's going to watch this and be like, "You do that with me all the time." It's not just with boys.
Dad, you are blunt on the podcast and as a dad, right?
But you can do it. You can definitely do it with boys, I think, a lot easier than you can with girls.
Yep. Yeah. Another great thing about being a boy dad is you got built-in buddies. Is being buddies. It is, research shows that guys get along better with guys, and that shouldn't be a shocker, but it's just leveraging that to connect with your kids, and shared interest can make us connect, right? Like we can, like you said, go to the baseball game, throw the football. It's those things that you naturally love to do anyway, and just leverage that to connect with your kids. It's so powerful.
Yeah, a Gallup survey said that boys are more likely than girls to report having strong, loving relationships with their parents. So 77% versus 61%. This suggests that you might have potentially stronger bonds with boys and fathers. So work on it now. You want to be friends with your adult kids? Be friends with them when they're 10. And that doesn't mean you can't discipline them or be the authority in their life. You should be, but prioritize that. You want to be buddies 20 years from now? Be buddies today. Be close with them.
Absolutely.
I think another thing is just being a mentor, an example. I mean, you want to live the life that your son is trying to figure out. Like he doesn't know. And so he's looking for something. So I think kind of a part of this was, with my son, trying to teach him kind of about money. And so we would go on vacation. And anytime we go on vacation, we give our kids like $30 to $50 and just say, "This is yours to spend if we stop off someplace, gift shops, that kind of thing. And it's yours to spend. You can spend it on whatever you want, but when it's gone, it's gone. You can't ask us, to buy you something." And so everywhere we would go, he would just always be like, "Okay, do you think this is a good purchase?" I mean, I'm like, "Seems like you really think this thing is cool, buddy." Like, so yeah, you might buy this and down the road might see something cool. But the question is do you feel like you're going to use this? Do you feel like it's something that's cool? Do you feel like it's, are you going to get a lot of fun out of it? And so it's really kind of funny to sort of see that and kind of the way that I approach money and all that kind of thing. He takes on the same thing. It's like, he'll even look at other people and be like, "Gosh, what a waste. Look what they're buying."
Yeah.
So
the way I look at this with my son, and I think this about my daughters too, but specifically with my son, because he's looking to me as the chief male authority or, mentor in his life, that he can either try to be like me or try to be totally opposite of me when he becomes an adult. The way I look at it is I get to mentor him. I get to teach him. I get to coach him. I get to help mold him into a strong young man who will eventually grow up to be a strong young adult, hopefully a strong husband, hopefully a strong dad. I get to do that. And so, when you're talking about dads and the fun bond they get to have with their sons, you get to create not a little mini you, but a best version of them.
That's good.
And it's such a privilege to do that. And I'm sure we'll have influence over our daughters. Good dads always do when they're engaged. But I don't think it's exactly the same as your sons. It's just something a little different there. You get to mold a great husband. You get to mold a great dad, or at least have a hand in it. That's a big responsibility. We shouldn't shy away from that. We should say, I get to do those things.
Yeah. I mean, we've got those built-in things that, that we have in common. And I think we need to make sure that we're leveraging that in teachable moments. BJ, perfect example when you say, I'm going to give you this amount of money, and he's leaning in going, what do you think? That's just so powerful. And Bobby, you've always said this, but I think we've got to say it again. Another great thing about being a boy dad is you get a future best friend. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I am telling you, I am living it right now. Yeah. And they love each other, and they let me come along sometimes. Yeah. I mean, and they know, like Father's Day, I know what Dad's going to want to do. Top golf. They know that's like taking the little kid to the park. And they called their mom, and my oldest one said, Dad was such a rascal today. I was like, what are you, 80? You rascal? But it was just this fun. And there's just less pressure with boys to me. Like just hanging out, there's less pressure. And I love it, man. It's great.
I went golfing with my dad when I was like 10 or 11. I got to go golfing with him because that was the only way he got to go golfing. My mom's like, hey, if you're going to go golfing, take that kid with you. So I did. I went with him, and my brother went too. And so he taught us how to play. He taught us which club to hit when and all that sort of stuff. And when we were little, he did it because he wanted to play golf. But what ended up happening was I had so much fun with my dad that eventually I called him and was like, hey, can we go play golf? I'm 26 now. Can we play golf? What a cool thing. And so I think about that now because I just went golfing with my son the other day, just little top golf like you were talking about. But maybe that implanted a memory in him that he'll recall 10, 15 years from now and say, hey, Dad, can we go play again? Man, what a gift that would be.
This is great. I love this. This is a fun one. Yeah, I was excited about this one. So this gets us right into our pro move, which is to set aside one-on-one time with each of your sons. Let them set the agenda and just enjoy being with your boy, right? Usually they pick things way smaller than we think, like cooking ham in the backyard.
Oh, man, it was so good.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. This was fun. And thank you. If you want more great content, you can sign up for a thing that BJ is a huge part of that oversees called the Play of the Day. It's a 2-minute read, hit your inbox every day. You're going to get great nuggets. It's going to take you 2 minutes to read. It's going to give you a great question. We talk about questions a lot. Some great questions. So make sure you check that out. But most of all, we want to say thanks. Thanks for hanging out with us. We know you and your boys will be glad that you did.
Thanks again for listening to the All Pro Dad podcast. Behind every episode is our amazing team. Producer, Haley Mawat, audio and video editor, Buck Buchanan, and production coordinator, Corey Walliff. All Pro Dad is the fatherhood program of the nonprofit Family First. Along with our motherhood program, iMom, we exist to help you love your family well. So remember, if you have more questions than answers, then you're probably in the right place. See you next time.